It's a trap!
New lighting, who this? Anyway, you see the title of the video. Motivation is going to be a trap for you. Okay. Motivation is going to keep you in the exact same place you were 6 months ago. Okay. How do I know this? Okay. I see it all the time. This is what I see, especially with creatives or whatnot, but there are people with these crazy good ideas, crazy good, who are motivated to finish it out. But in the next 6 months, they quit. In the next 3 months, they'll quit because whatever they were doing, like they'll stop it altogether because the motivation isn't there anymore. Understand? Like, at what point they were so consumed by wanting their project or whatever they're working on to succeed when they had the motivation, but when they no longer felt that, they quit. And the reason why I don't say like they're obsessed with their product to succeed, because those are the people, like the people who are actually obsessed with what they want to accomplish, like they actually finish it out. Like they finish it no matter how long it takes, no matter what it is, right? That's why I don't say it's obsessed. Okay. The difference between those two people is that one of them were focused and one of them were concentrated. And one of them actually had some concentration. What's the difference between the two? Here we go. Focus is being able to tune out the noise, like taking the stuff off the boat to make it go faster, while concentration is being able to limit your distractions and continue on in the first place. Concentration is the thing that keeps you focused because you're able to work with the real life distraction on a regular basis. Like, don't get twisted. Like, you must maintain focusedness in order to benefit from concentration, but your motivation will only get you so far because it's a feeling. And your emotions will only lead you to where you were before. If you only work when you feel like it, no amount of effort other than completion is actually going to fulfill whatever those feelings are. I talk to people who want to be authors, who want to be creators, and this is what I especially see with a lot of creatives is that they'll have all these project ideas, and this includes me too. Like they'll start on something, but they will never finish it. Like for example, like I have a buddy even today. Like I have a buddy who me and him said we're going to study for the CompTIA A plus exam like a year ago, right? I've started it. He hasn't really done it. He obviously he has his own situation, but he was in the same boat that I was. And hopefully this is not him, but I took the easier route because I thought I had a lot of time. I took the easier route because I thought I had a lot of time. And if this guy's just like me, he thinks he has a lot of time. But when I remember when I was motivated to study for my CompTIA A plus exam, like self-study by myself, I stay up an additional 1 to 2 hours after bed. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get this done. But I'm gonna get this network engineering job, making $100,000 a year. Yeah, right. But then nothing. I stopped. I stopped because I would only really work when I felt motivated to do so. But when I wasn't motivated, you kind of already know the answer to that. I've already said it. Anyway, when I treated my study time like an option instead of an obligation, that's when I started to become lax. And that's when I started to like scraping by, putting 30% and expecting like 100% of the result. And I remember thinking to myself that maybe I'm a bit too extreme. Like if I just cut this time off and put everything out and push it forward, I'm gonna get it done. And there was like a little voice in my head being like, yeah, but when your brain's fried, you don't really understand what you're saying. You're not really gonna absorb it the same way. Don't listen to that voice, okay? Because it's the extremeness that took me to the place where I want to go. It's because I'm extreme with my results, extreme with the effort that I put in, and extreme with how I treat my situation. That's the reason why I'm even here today. That's why I'm even making these videos in the first place. I get more done because how I treated it, right? But notice how I said treat and not feel. Okay, I don't feel like studying all the time. I don't feel like doing these internships all the time. Most of the time, I feel like a freaking idiot. I feel like I'm just not sticking in here, and I'm just too dumb to understand it sometimes. And the thing is, I'm not even passing some of my classes. I'm like, Fah! Right? Anyway, doesn't really matter. I even failed my CompTIA A plus exam twice. Anyway, the difference is that because of the discipline I built, I'm still here studying. I'm still here doing labs. I'm still volunteering. Matter of fact, before and after this video, I was studying. Um, and I've accomplished more in the last 2 months than I have in the entire year that I just relied on intense motivation. Right now, I'm relying on concentrated discipline. Studying 2 to 4 hours after school every day, uh, until volunteer took my time. But practicing AI prompting on a regular basis, looking at networking projects I can do, seeing where else I can improve. Going to sleep while listening to Professor Messer or Jason Dion. Pick one, doesn't really matter. But the times where I noticed I failed was, or times where I didn't know what the heck was going on, or I didn't retain the information, was when is how I treated my weekends, not the work days. Because the weekends was where I binged Marvel Rivals, anime, cartoons, because I thought I deserved a break. Because my brain was fried. I was like, I'm not really gonna retain all this stuff, and let me just play this. Let me just sedate my brain real quick, right? But there was a better alternative at the time. I could have went to the gym. I could have made another video. I could have, well, I could have did anything more productive with my time. But because the important part was trying to keep the knowledge of what I needed to pass in my head before I push it out with all the gunk and all the stuff. My instructor always says, like, eat, sleep, drink CompTIA all the time. And I might have eaten it sometimes, I might have drank it. I might not even had enough sleep. You know, but I didn't take the time and I didn't put the amount of effort I needed to in order to achieve my goal. And this is why you need systems, not like situational feelings. But anyway, you might be motivated to go to the gym because some girl's there or some girl is in the gym. You're gonna be working out until you find out she has a boyfriend, and now you're kind of sulking. You're like, dang, what was even the point of this, man? Right? You might be motivated to start a business until you have to stay up an additional 2 to 4 hours plus on these projects without getting paid for it. You might be motivated to finally be financially responsible, but you're still eat out regular on a regular basis, making just poor financial decisions. Or worse, you're just like, you get bored of it and you're like, whatever, I'm done. Right? The problem with motivation is that it's going to motivate you enough to get you the knowledge, and no, knowledge is power. But in this scenario, like, even though you have the knowledge and even though you have the power, you're too weak to exercise it. You can't, and you can't win that way, right? If you read almost every biography, every of some high earner, hard worker, somebody successful, like, almost they were never satisfied with their 10-year horizon, right? They wanted to accomplish whatever they could in the next 6 months. And you can say that's extreme, but like, due to their urgency, due to their ability or even just their desire to accomplish more, to accomplish that, they've accomplished more in one lifetime than most people will ever achieve in five. And as much as I'm talking to you in this video, I'm also talking to myself, because I notice the bottlenecks. I notice when I am slacking. I notice where I'm lacking. And I truly believe that if I cut those things out, I'd be better off. Not because it works for them or works for other people, but because I've actually practiced it and it has worked for me. Motivation should be a jump pad, nitro, not the gas in your car. Motivation should arrive in the situation where there has been no deviation from your discipline. And on top of all that, like if you're disciplined, you're still gonna feel motivated at times, and that motivation is gonna help you go harder. Like you'll accomplish more in those short bursts while still reaping the benefits of long-term investing, long-term success, and maybe, just maybe, you'll be able to do it in less time. So let me ask you this one thing. Well, a couple things actually. Who are you when nobody's watching? Who are you when you're tired? Who are you when you fail 3, 4 times? Who are you when life stops giving you dopamine and starts to give you consequences? Because that person is going to determine your future almost at every turn. Not the guy screaming affirmations in his car, not the girl posting quotes on Instagram, not the version of you that's fired up at 2 in the morning after watching some motivation David Goggins videos. Who's going to carry the boats? And the logs. And the logs. Anyway. It's the version of it's the version of you that wakes up on Tuesday that feels like garbage, that just doesn't want to do anything, but does it anyway. That's discipline. Discipline isn't sexy. Discipline is boring. Discipline is doing the dishes when nobody asks. It's going to sleep on time. It's studying chapter 7 when you really want to go play video games. Like discipline can feel embarrassing. Failing, looking stupid, at least during the process of discipline. Anyway, failing, looking stupid, and showing up the next day anyway. Sometimes, discipline feels embarrassing. Failing, looking stupid, but still showing up the next day to do it anyway. And I think that's why so many people fail. Like, not because they're dumb, not because they're lazy, but because they underestimate how repetitive greatness is. The gym is repetitive. School is repetitive. Building a business is repetitive. Being a good friend is repetitive. Being a good father is repetitive. Being a good husband is repetitive. A good creator, a good anything. All of it is repetitive. It's just repeating the same cycle over and over and over again, right? You don't rise to your goals. You fail to your systems. If your system is, I'll do it when I feel like it, you're fucked. Okay? Because those feelings are temporary. They're weather. Like, that's just the weather. The discipline is the climate. There are going to be days where you feel unstoppable, and there's going to be other days where you feel like quitting. And neither of those feelings matter at all. Because what matters is, did you show up that day? Did you do the work? Did you become the type of person that can be trusted with the future that they say they want? Because honestly, I don't just want the six-pack. I don't just want the money. I don't just want the success. I also want to become the person who deserves those things. Someone who can hold on to them. Someone who doesn't fold the second life gets hard. Because if I become that person, then the results become inevitable. So obviously, go after it. Just go win. It's not going to be easy. But if you start today, especially today or tomorrow, whatever time you're seeing this, if you start today, 1 hour today, 2 hours tomorrow, another day after that, and another day after that, and if you stack enough of those days together, you'll look back and you'll be wondering why you ever thought motivation was enough. Anyway, that's going to be it for my little excerpt, monologue, whatever. Go ahead, like the video, share with a friend, hit my line, and let's get back to work. Triumph Athletic, code MINT, MINT. Shout out to your boy. Holla at your boy. 10% off your order. Peace.